All right, so we are live again. Thank you for everyone who has held up so far. If people can hear me, let me know. We're on a different phone, so we did lose some service there, but I've got full bars and everything else. So we'll try to get through this. Do you want to take my phone real quick?
Sure, I'll take your phone real quick.
Can I use yours?
You can check. You can check. All right. We're back with Carol. We're going to a different area here. So, Carol, why don't you tell us a little bit about what we have in this?
Here, actually, are some of my favorite minerals. These are colorful and have really interesting crystal structure, like the stibnate up here. That's a very recent one we got. Really interesting. It's beautiful. And then this piece back here is very interesting, the Olympic torch. That is actually one that was created in a zinc smelter in Poland. The zinc gases would be going up to the smelter and combine with the oxygen, and it formed that one. That one is called the Olympic torch. We do have another piece down here, the crystallized zincite. So those aren't technically natural from the earth, but they did form in a smelter. Next to it, fluorite. Fluorite is one of my favorite minerals. I just love fluorite, and that's a beautiful piece of fluorite. We have a lot of fluorite elsewhere in this museum, and that's a very eye-catching piece there. And this one up here, this naturalite, which has real delicate sprays. That was a little tough to get in there. You're very nervous if you have to handle it at all, but extremely delicate sprays. A lot of those kind of minerals actually form almost like a lava bubble.
Okay.
And then it's like pools of form and you're protected from breaking it. No one sees until that piece is opened up and you can actually then see these beautiful crystals inside. So like I said, another one of my favorites. Even this piece of quartz here, sort of looks like a crystallized snowball. So it's quartz and fluorite, common minerals, but in that piece, it's just beautiful together. We were very excited when we acquired that piece for the museum.
Some amazing things here.
So absolutely amazing, beautiful things.
So where should we move to next then, Carol?
We'll take a look at meteorites because as you say, we have stuff from all over the world. So here, a number of different actual meteorites. All of them are from Arizona, also some other places in the world, some African pieces. So these are actual meteorites. And then down here, we have pieces that show as that meteorite hits. It causes a structural alteration in the earth a little bit. Like this here is a sandstone. It actually was heated so much it fused together. So almost glassy feeling when you pick it up, not like typical sandstone. So just some really, again, interesting pieces. You can really appreciate them. You have to come and see them close up.
And there she said it. So basically, you know, Franklin Mineral Museum just isn't Franklin Minerals, although that's our highlight. We do have other things that you can come and see. And everything is interesting, not just for adults or people that are into fossils, minerals. We have a little bit of everything here, which is nice, and especially for kids. Kids get really excited to see these things and where they're from. So, Carol, let's move into our next area here in the museum.
Yeah. This film was just done a couple of years ago to highlight some of our interesting ones. Now these pieces down here, the fossilized fish. They're from Green River, Wyoming. What happened, there was a volcanic explosion, and as that ash settled over a lake, it obviously killed the fish, they settled down. And when people find them, they actually dig through that volcanic material and then you come across the fossil fish, and they're beautifully preserved.
Yeah, I was going to say, unfortunately, the lighting is great in here, but with the cell phone and how we're shooting is, you can't see the actual detail as well as you can as if you're in the museum, but you can see pretty much every bone structure that's in this fish and how well it was preserved. So it's very, very interesting stuff.
They have a number of different fossilized leaves. And they don't think about all the different kinds of leaves that can get fossilized, but a wide range of them. And then down here, a lot of pieces from New Jersey. This one here is probably one of the biggest pieces of petrified wood that have come out of New Jersey here. So that came here just a couple of years ago. But that's from Gibbsboro, New Jersey, down in South Jersey. Yay, South Jersey!
We'll give them a little kudos. But and you can't tell the size of this, but this piece is probably about
The size.
This piece is probably about 24 inches wide and probably 18 to 20 inches tall. So that's a large piece of petrified cedar.
It's probably 6 inches.
And yes, thickness, it's about 6 inches thick. It's very amazing.
It is a challenge to get it in the case. Try to find the right size and to have it be stable in there.
Yeah. So. Okay, in the back of the room.
Different things from dinosaurs. Now these, of course, are not actual skulls, but
Casts.
of them. And this year is sort of interesting. That's the dermal plates from an armored dinosaur.
Okay.
That's actual piece. There are some dinosaur eggs, which are a lot of fun. A lot of times you get the little kids here and they actually think a little baby dinosaur is going to hatch out of them. And tell them, no, that's not going to happen, but they're a lot of fun. And then just, like I said, that raw bone, some of them are cut, you can actually see, the structure inside the bone. That's really nice too. And of course, in New Jersey, we did have dinosaurs, and we have a large number of dinosaur footprints. So here's one, if kids come next, you actually can put their hand on, and they're from a Graylater. There's one of the dinosaurs here in New Jersey. And a lot of these pieces, this one's from West Patterson, Roseland, so that area, you do find these dinosaur footprints. So,
And we won't release the live Velociraptor while your kids are here. We promise. So this wall, I'm always amazed at this. This is actually beautiful. And
petrified wood. These are gorgeous pieces.
and where did these come from? I know this is something the museum received not too few years ago.
Arizona. This is all part of Joel Wilson's collection.
Right.
That he donated. These two pieces down here are just down there. Again, put my hand here for the size, they're huge.
Yeah.
I don't know how he got them here. We had to paint behind them. All I can tell you, they're sort of heavy, and we have to be very careful maneuvering them. But they are incredible pieces.
Yeah.
Some of the petrified wood, they can actually tell what kind of tree it's from, which I find really interesting.
Right.
And then behind us, we have trilobites. Trilobites are one of these very ancient sea animals from the Cambrian period. These are very prolific. I saw the first animal that had eyesight. Some of them, if you look closely, they probably can't see on the phone, but they actually have little eye stalks, and you can see where their eyes are. The scientists here told me they do believe their eyes are blue because they found enough material to analyze it. So how true that is, I don't know, but I was told that. But all these ones in this case are from Morocco. Wow. Down by the Atlas Mountains. So if they were starting to build there, we did come across this stuff. A lot of very interesting pieces in here.
Again, just because you can't see it here, you need to get to the museum and check this out. Yeah. So on the left here is our
Native American pieces, again acquired by Mary Wells. Bill Walsh's wife had a very great interest in the Native American pieces. Some really beautiful pieces. This here, this is a traveling bag. I believe it's from about the 1850s.
Wow.
The beadwork on it is incredible, along with this cradle.
Stunning.
It's a gorgeous beadwork.
Yeah, yeah.
Now, these two pieces here are interesting because not only do they have beadwork, they also have porcupine quill work on them. So underneath the beadwork is the porcupine quill work. So you'd have to soften that porcupine quill to work with it. So, and you know, some absolutely stunning pieces.
So just stop you for the kids that are around my age, which is somewhere between 35 and 55. I won't give it up. But look at that, guys. It's the original hacky sack. Can you believe it? I don't think I'd want anybody playing with that, but it is pretty amazing. It is a beaded ball. It's just incredible the work that went into these pieces in here.
And then you think, you know, someone probably played with that.
Sure.
And it's just gorgeous. There is a hairbrush here. This is always one of my favorite ones to show kids. It's a porcupine tail hairbrush. And I have to admit, I had to see how sharp it was. That's when we did this. I had to touch it, and it's not real sharp and prickly. It's sort of like boar bristle. Okay. Because I'm like, you know, but that really hurt if you use it. But it's a porcupine tail hairbrush, which is really nice. The fan here is all done with feathers, and there's some little parrot feathers on the bottom. That's really pretty too. So, like I said, some really interesting pieces. And this one, this is a part of a buffalo vertebrae. And if you look to the side there, you can see where an arrow point went right into that.
Yes, I don't know if anybody you can see it at home, but I can see it here, and it's right into the vertebrae.
Yeah,
It's pretty amazing.
that kind of,
Yeah. Right there.
there.
Crazy. Huh?
And
Some of the pottery down here as well.
mhm.
Oh, I'm sure clay with
Pigmented probably with hematite with the iron to get the red colors.
very cool.
And down here is another interesting piece. This, as you can see, is a pair of snow goggles. And I think you can see someone wearing that. He looks at that little slit to help protect the snow blindness.
Right. Wow.
So, and then
Well, very. Here's some of the things that you can find in New Jersey too.
yeah, a lot
All over.
on New Jersey, a lot.
That is
Some of our spear points, yeah, all different kinds of material.
And as I look here in this, these are all arrowheads that are in the cases here are from New Jersey. So
Now, it would be interesting to see how many are actually made from minerals from New Jersey and how many were traded, because
And
they
maybe
see
some obsidian, some of that would have to be traded for
Yeah.
that. Of course, the obsidian ones are extremely sharp. So if you material that
so you can tell who the smart people are in the room. I just talk well.
Well, if you're from New Jersey, there is a fantastic fossil and artifact group for New Jersey on Facebook. So you can tell that I follow there, and I have friends that are huge into artifact collecting. So I don't know that much. They know a whole bunch. But it's amazing to see how somebody can see and tell exactly where it's from and how it got traded. It's interesting to see the history and the movement of just something as simple as an arrowhead.
That's right. Because it's like even today, material you want comes from elsewhere.
Right. Right. Very cool. All right. Well, listen, we're gonna do a short one today, but we did save the best for last. Obviously, it's the kids area. No. We're gonna walk into our local room.
Town hall.
Yes, named after Franklin, New Jersey Zinc Company's geologist, Jack Baum, who also was a curator here at the museum for many years. Like I said, I saved the best for last. Everything in this room, if I'm not mistaken, is from the Franklin Mining District, which encompasses both Franklin and Ogdensburg. And these came out of collections that were donated, I'm sure. You know, right.
Names of some of them, and some of them actually are named after people with the word Ida PA.
Right. So let's stop briefly at each case, and you can explain kind of what everybody is looking at.
This one gets a lot of attention from people because it's rhodamite, and people just love the color of rhodamite. This piece here with the rhodamite crystals is really pretty. That's one of the highlights of the collection in here.
That's absolutely gorgeous.
That is a beautiful piece.
Okay. This is obviously there's so much you can go through here. What we do today doesn't give the museum justice because the specimens that you see in the local room, Baum Hall, they're mind-blowing. I mean,
And a lot of the crystals are very small, and you have to see them in person to really appreciate them.
Right.
You could spend a few hours looking at each and every one.
We had someone here today that spent hours in this room.
Yeah, and I would say the thing and this is knowledge that I've received over the past 4 years, because I haven't been collecting that long, but I just fell in love with it, is that if you want to learn how to collect Franklin minerals, your time is best spent in this room seeing what these minerals look like in daylight, so you get the assemblages and what other minerals they're in with, and it helps tremendously.
People who collect Franklin minerals are very happy to share their knowledge. If you attend any collecting events here, where you have the people from the Franklin Ogdensburg Mineral Society, they are more than happy to welcome new members and to share their knowledge and to help teach you. So you can also, partake in collecting. So a very friendly group of people, very knowledgeable too.
The reason, I mean, all the people that I've dealt with in the collecting for Franklin and Ogdensburg, again, like Carol said, they're very willing to share their knowledge. And the reason being is that it keeps our hobby alive by bringing in more people, younger people, older people, just everybody. It keeps the hobby going. So.
And on top of it, they're still doing a lot of research.
Right.
And they are discovering new minerals here that they didn't know were here with all the new techniques we have to analyze them.
Right. Let's go over some of the highlights in here, Carol.
Okay. First, pyrite. A lot of people like pyrite, just that's how it'll look. But that's in the Franklin marble. Also, the Franklin marble. But the next page down the big minerals, yeah.
Some of the favorites.
And a lot of people like they call the knife, with the bands of the Franklinite, Rhodamite in it.
Exactly. In fact, anybody that follows us has seen that post on our page for some of the minerals. So I've been trying to share sporadically some of the different minerals. So the one this past week that is taken from this room.
Yes.
That made more parts sort of fun. We used to have kids and come in, and we had some that were lower down, and they were thinking it's like shaving all the balls. Yeah. With some of the Franklinite crystals there, it was really nice. And the Rhodamite.
One of my personal favorites.
It comes in so many different colors.
Right.
My favorite's the Jimmy Green. I have to admit it. But we have the red, the brown.
Mention what our next topic for our live stream is going to be.
I guess if you'd like to. Okay, go ahead, Laura.
So actually, our next live stream in 2 weeks is going to be focusing on Rhodamine. So you will be seeing a whole bunch of examples and getting a bunch of information on that. So there we go. It's no longer a surprise what our next.
No more secrets. No more secrets.
That's one of my favorites.
I think that's everybody's favorite. You could probably have a Crayola crayon box
of the white colors.
Yes, exactly.
Have like black Rhodamite.
Yeah.
And in here or it's elsewhere, we actually had a clear Rhodamite piece for a while on display.
Yeah. Yep.
Let's see. Over here, looking for the that might be the back. They have minerals that are only found here.
Okay.
And the crystal school, Franklin Sterling Hill. I was looking for one of my favorites is McGovernite.
That's, yeah.
It's gold, it radiates, really pretty. It was found, I believe, in just one area in the Sterling Hill mine.
Okay.
That was all.
So in case you couldn't hear Carol, the back case here is minerals found only in Franklin and Ogdensburg. And what's the number at now?
Last I heard, it was 19. For a while, it was a little higher, but they had discovered some elsewhere. I sometimes wonder, like, if anybody went into my yard, they probably would find some of them because over the years of collecting, and this stuff you get not turning on. Dumped in my backyard, so it's a very interesting collection of fossils and
Cross-contamination, we call that.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful piece of Hendrixite right
Yes,
there.
it is.
So,
Some really nice pieces. What amazes me with that picture is it's hand drawn. You know,
yeah.
People have the hand drawn order.
And
Incredible.
with the lighting in here, it doesn't do it justice. But if you want to see minerals, artifacts, a lot of historic drawings, photos of the mine and what it was, this is the place to go. Again, there's a drawing right there, which basically shows the depth of the Franklin mine ore body, which was as deep as, if not deeper than, the Empire State Building.
Which is
So
way down there underground.
yes, it is. So let's take a walk over to the.
There's something interesting here. With the school this was done by Earl. They said there is a reference to a crystal mountain, and they're wondering whether that referred to Sterling. Some of these kind of crystal shapes.
Okay.
There's the reference is from 1669.
Wow.
And they talked about a crystal mountain somewhere between the Dutch colonies along the Delaware River and Manhattan.
Right.
So this is speculation. This is part of the crystal mountain.
Very cool. And this here is weathered Franklinite. Looks like a lot of it. Some weathered willemite up there.
So, that interesting shape.
Yeah, yeah. Very nice.
And then the hard case down here is the famous collection of the Parker Shaft.
I'm sure everybody that's listening knows about the Parker Shaft minerals, which are some of the most sought after and rarest that have come out.
So this whole case here is Parker Shaft minerals.
Wow.
Yeah. Right here for your edification.
Absolutely. Very, very amazing.
And if you come here, I do want to mention, if you go outside, because we've left a lot of it standing, is the flower, the Bladder Champion. And that flower is known to grow in zinc-rich soil. So if you see a lot of it growing, it's a sign that you might have zinc in here.
Absolutely. And I can tell you as kids, because if you see this picture here, hopefully you can see that a little bit. They look like little bubbles.
Yeah.
So as a kid walking from Mabee Street down Rutherford Ave and down Buckwheat Road to the Franklin Ponds, we would actually pop those guys, and that was the most fun. That kind of passed the time when it was 120 degrees and your mother was dragging you to the pond for swim lessons in 70-degree water or 65, and it was freezing. So yes.
It's just very interesting to take a look at it.
Yeah, it is. It's great stuff. So, Carol, I want to thank you again. We're giving you no more. If you want to see the rest of the museum and the collecting area, you guys are all going to have to come out and visit the Franklin Mineral Museum. And Carol, again, open 5 days a week. Right. Thank you very much, Carol. Appreciate your time again. All right. So I'm going to let Lauren go over a little bit of what you're in store for the rest of the season at Franklin Mineral Museum.
All right, so of course we mentioned in 2 weeks, we will be broadcasting on the 15th, which is a Friday and not a Saturday, because that is what works out for our guest host. So we will be posting that event on Facebook this weekend for you to see. With that, we also have a few night digs that are scheduled. So we have our first night dig, which will be next week, July 9th, and that will be from 7 to 11. Then I believe the next one is August 6th, so it'll be the first Saturday in August. That will be from 7 to 11 as well. And then on September 3rd, we'll have the next night dig, and that will be from 6 to 10, because of course it starts getting dark out a little earlier. We also have the Pond Swap event that is going to be on July 30th. That'll be at Franklin Pond, and it is running from 9 to 5. If you're looking to be a vendor for that, you can go to the event on our Facebook page, and that will have the email listed to contact Gary Rhodamine, who is handling all that for us.
We have unlimited room at the pond this year. We're opening it up. So last year we had approximately 40 vendors. We think that we can fit at least 80. So if you want to come, my suggestion is get in touch with Gary, and you will line up at 7 o'clock when we start opening that. Again, we have enough room. It was a great event last year. We expect a lot more people this year.
And one thing is too, if you do contact Gary and get on the list early, going roughly about 2 weeks before, we will start doing some posts saying who some of our vendors are and what they will have with us, just like we did for our April swap and sell. So you will see that highlighted as well. If you are one of our vendors, you can send either Gary or the Mineral Museum, either on Instagram or Facebook. Send us your social media, because then I can actually go ahead and tag you in our posts so people know who our vendors are and everything. And basically that is it for the rest of the summer events. Continuously through the summer, we do have a worldwide mineral sale that is happening down in Chrysler Hall. After this weekend, if you're visiting the museum and you want to see it, you can just ask a museum staff member to take you down in there, and they'll be able to get you in so you can browse around and see. And we will be throwing some fresh stuff in the room as well during the pond swap. So you'll definitely want to make sure if you're going to the pond swap to come and visit the museum. So.
Very good. And I think that's about all we have today. All I can say is please come out and visit the Franklin Mineral Museum. I can tell you that for days like today, it's a lot better in here than it is out there. And we want to wish everybody a happy 4th of July. Thank you for tuning in.